Good afternoon and good morning. I say afternoon because I'm here on the East Coast, and good morning to all of my friends on the West Coast. And just got a call in from John David Rainbolt, who's going to be our special guest. So let me answer that call. Hi, John. How are you, brother?
Good, Michael. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm on live right now, and I'm just starting off because I'm going to do a tribute for Mr. John Arriaga. So I'm on live, and we'll see you on in about 15 minutes.
You mean if we're still in the same time work?
Oh yeah, still the same time.
We can bump it back if you need.
Nope, we're 1:30. We're good to go.
And my on this StreamYard, does it automatically download the software, or do I need to?
It's very user. Yeah, you'll love it. It's so simple because you have a mind like Einstein. As an owl, you'll figure it out.
Say,
You'll figure it out. Okay.
all right.
We'll see you soon. Thank you. Okay, bye. Yeah, that's our special guest, John Rainbolt, and he'll be coming on in about 15 minutes or so. And I want to start off with a tribute to Mr. John Arriaga. As you can see in my background here, this is one of the many buildings that he built at Stanford. I mean, literally, this wouldn't have happened. The Stanford Stadium, the Arriaga Family Center. I mean, there's just a whole list of buildings and projects that Mr. John Arriaga, uh, he led and financed. I mean, he's one of the greatest philanthropists, and he passed away yesterday. He transitioned. I like to use the word transition because his spirit is in all of those that he touched. And his daughter, Laura, my heart goes out to you, Laura, and his son, John, and his nephew, Jeff, who I played football with at Stanford. So many friends, Ray Perper. I know Ray and John work closely together to build all of these amazing facilities around Stanford. And again, I think if there were a philanthropist Hall of Fame, John would be inducted into the first philanthropist Hall of Fame club. He's just a great guy. And I first met John in 1979, and I needed a part-time job. This was when you couldn't work. Today, we're allowing student athletes to earn money, which I think is a good thing. But back then, you really couldn't do anything. But I had a summer job, and I'll never forget going into his office, and he looked at me and he said, "Hi, Mike." And I said, "Hi, Mr. Arriaga. How are you?" And he said, "Well, I got a job for you." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Well, you see outside, there's a lot of trash out there. We need it picked up." So I went out and started picking up trash, and he really, he taught me what hard work was about. And I'll never forget, in our athletic department at Stanford, we were rebuilding the athletic, or just gutting it. We gutted the athletic department, and I for somehow they said, "Hey, come on up and help." So I started pulling up carpet, and all of a sudden I see an older man to my left, and I didn't really notice, but because I was working away, and there was John Arriaga helping gut, doing the manual labor. And this was in the 80s, and he'd already, obviously, he's one of the greatest, as I said, greatest philanthropists, I think, on the planet, because he gave so much to Stanford. And, he's a great basketball player, outstanding student athlete. No one worked harder than John. He was, he never asked someone to do something that he wouldn't do himself. So, in any event, my heart goes out to Laura and John, and we'll miss you. But again, your spirit, John, is in all of us. So thank you. And this stadium, I think it was world record that he built. I mean, we had to gut the old stadium and build the new stadium, and I think he did it within a year. It was unbelievable. I don't think there's any stadium that has been built faster than this. Maybe in China. So we'll miss you, John. Love you, and love to Laura and John and the entire family. Okay, well, with that, I probably should change the screen because we've got a great special guest coming on who is a Stanford graduate. We met at Stanford, and his name is John Rainbolt. And I am going to change the background to, let me change the virtual background right now. And there we go. I'm going to change the background, and there we go. And you can see ANACIA and To Be Kind. And I will flash down at the bottom the to learn more about ANACIA and tobekind.com. So that's our special guest. But before we get to our special guest, I usually like to do on this day, what's happened today. Today is Tuesday, January 25th. And did you all know in 1554, the founding of the city of Sao Paulo, Brazil, in 1554, Sao Paulo, Brazil was founded. On this day in 1755, Moscow University was established by Elizabeth of Russia. In 1802, on this day, Napoleon Bonaparte was elected president. In 1839, Henry Fox exhibited early photographs. I didn't know this. In 1839, the Royal Institution in the United Kingdom was presented photos by Henry Fox Talbot. So there you go. In 1840, an American expedition under Charles Wilkes identified Antarctica as a new continent. And I could go on and on. Thomas Edison today. Thomas Edison and Alex Graham Bell formed the Oriental Telephone Company in 1881. And the first Winter Olympics in 1924 took place in Chamonix, France. And we've got another Winter Games coming up in China in a couple weeks. The first nuclear fission experiment splitting the uranium atom in 1939 happened at one of the schools I attended, Columbia University. And Enrico Fermi was part of that, 1939. 1949, on this day, the Israeli election was run by David Ben-Gurion. So he was elected in 1949. 1961, this is very interesting. I was 1 year old, and it was the first nationally televised presidential news conference with John F. Kennedy today, on this day in 1961. 1974, Ray Kroc was the CEO of McDonald's, and he bought the San Diego Padres for $12 million. And that was in 1974. 1982, the 9th American Music Awards, Pat Benatar and Kenny Robbins won in 1982. And then in 1989, Michael Jordan scored his 10,000th NBA point in his 5th season, which was today. And in 1992, the Australian Open was won by Monica Seles, and she beat Mary Jo Fernandez in Australia on this day. And now we're going to go to birthdays. So birthdays, because we've got about 7 minutes before our guest comes on. And our first birthday is Kat Turner. And Kat is a good friend of mine in Southern California. And it's her birthday today. And then also Kathy Jo Malays' birthday. Happy birthday, Kathy Jo Malays. And Maddie Churchward, happy birthday. And ANACIA Lisso, happy birthday today. And Brittany Adamson, happy birthday, Brittany, good friend of mine. And happy birthday today to Alicia Keys, the singer. Happy birthday to my teammate from Stanford, downtown, Steve Brown. Happy birthday, Steve. And happy birthday to Peter Stamos, who is a good friend of mine, Rhodes Scholar. And it's happy birthday to Steve, to Peter, I'm sure, Peter Stamos. And happy birthday to Dr. Dennis Sheehan, who's a cardiologist, was the center at Stanford for Jim Plunkett. Just a great guy. Happy birthday, Dennis Sheehan. Happy birthday, Anthony Gabriel. Happy birthday to Dennis McNeil. Happy birthday to Paul Gerben. Happy birthday to Anthony Gabriel. Happy birthday to Bob Walker. Happy birthday to the original Purple People Eater, Carl Eller. Happy birthday to Gordy Saltow, who would have turned 97 today, one of the founders of the NFL Alumni Association. And it also is Robert Burns, the great poet's birthday today. The great English writer Virginia Woolf, it's her birthday today. And the former president of the Philippines, Corazon Aquino, it's her birthday today. So there you go. We're all finished with the birthday. We've got 5 minutes left. And maybe I should play music. No, actually, what I'm going to do, and I apologize, I went through the birthdays, but I heard some background because my brother in the background is on the phone. So I have attention deficit issues. So I apologize for kind of rambling through. I like to give, my birthday messages clear, but so I apologize to you if I was rambling, but that sometimes happens when you play American football in your youth. And we've got a great guy who's coming on. His name is John Rainbolt. And let me just read to you a little bit about John. John has a website. You can see this down at the bottom, tobekind.com. And his story, his company, we value helping people. His vision is sustainable living. Our mission is micromanagement. His passion is plant-human relationships. Our competency is biochemistry, and our value proposition is improved health. So let me just go outside. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, we're going to go outside. We'll move down here. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. This is one of the nice things about being mobile. Okay. All righty. Let me turn on the lights here. Alexa, turn on lights in kitchen. Let's see if Alexa works. There we go. Look at that, how Alexa turns on the lights. All righty. Let's go back to the live stream. There we go. Okay. So we'll get back to, I was reading, and I apologize. To Be Kind, helping people improve their health through personal microbe management using the biochemistry of plant-human relationships. And to tell you the truth, I don't know much about this. This is so exciting because I have tried the ANACIA product and it's amazing. John has been working on this technology for many, many years. And here he is. He's finally on. Okay, good, John. We're going to bring you on early, brother.
Okay.
Hi, John.
How are you today, Michael?
Well, I'm a little bit scattered, so I apologize. I'm wearing the red because it's a tribute to John Arriaga. And you know John. I don't know if you ever met. Did you ever meet John?
I haven't met him, but I know I'm familiar with some of the other work that you've done with the foundations and such.
Yeah, well, John was just probably, I mentioned earlier, if there was a philanthropist Hall of Fame, he would be the first inductee into the Hall of Fame. And
wonderful.
So I apologize for the background noise here. So any event, John passed away yesterday, or transitioned.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Well,
yeah.
In my prayers and
yeah, John, I mentioned you before you came on. John gave me my first job in 1979, picking up garbage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Well, what a touching time, and hope he's remembered so well, and that the universe smiles on his family and friends. Deepest condolences.
He was truly, and my heart goes out to his daughter Laura, and his son John, and the entire Arriaga family. His nephew Jeff Arriaga and I were teammates at Stanford. He was a defensive back. So. Great. And John was a basketball player, class of 1960.
Jeez, it's the Stanford family goes on. It's such an incredible community.
It is really. And I just want to say, I welcome you on the dot, John Rainbolt on the dot. And John, why don't you share a little bit about your background growing up in Oklahoma and how you played sports? And obviously, we've got so much in common. I don't, we played the great game of American football. So take it away.
Well, we were both very athletic in our younger years, and the thing that Michael and I most share in common is we were both fullbacks, and so we've been through the true challenges of football as a result of banging our brains around a little bit in life. So we have a definite fellowship there. I did grow up in Oklahoma and Kansas City area. My father was a minister, and so community was really big in our life. So my first little focus, our company is called To Be Kind, and kindness is my first little focus today. It's the most important lesson that I've learned in my life, and I think it's the most important thing in life. And I wasn't always the kindest guy, but I was raised in a family that was very concerned about spiritual development, and I had a very kind family, so I had a great start that way. But I had in particular one lady that I want to give a little story about each one of my points. A lady was very influential to me. She was my first mentor, and she was my high school advanced biology teacher, Miss Anita Beeman. And she demonstrates kindness. In my pursuit of kindness, I've boiled down a definition, a simple but very practical definition, that kindness is support from the heart. And Miss Beeman gave me more support than anyone in my life. And so I really looked to her as an example of kindness. And she was really big on science fairs and science competitions, and had studied all of them all around the country, and was always pushing all the kids to enter and get in all of them. And I was very willing, so she got me in these science fairs. We did very well. I got to meet the president in the White House, and at the same time I got to meet Glenn Seaborg, the guy who put the periodic table of the elements together. And she actually was pretty much responsible for me getting into Yale, Harvard, and Stanford. And then, of course, as you know, I chose Stanford and continued there. So kindness is the theme. That's what we've named our company, To Be Kind. It's a very simple way to go, because the name of our company also describes our vision, our values, our vision, our mission, and hopefully the culture that we develop as well. So kindness is a huge subject for me.
Yeah, it's kindness and love. That's what makes the world go around. I mean, one of my
Support from the heart.
Yeah, that's what's
And you're a great example in that regard, man. You have learned through your life that you reach out, you make that personal connection, you really touch people in their heart, and I'm amazed. You've been a great mentor for me in that you've taught me just. I'm a little more introverted than you are, and you've taught me just how to reach out, get that conversation going, and really get to know somebody deeper.
Yeah, well, that's I'm very fortunate. I got a lot of love when I was a kid. I know it's hard when you go through tough times. If you have abuse as a child, very difficult to overcome. I was very fortunate that I got lots of love from both my parents. But what I do know is, if wherever you are, when you come into this world, there are people that love you, and whether it's your parents, or it's your uncles, or your aunts, or your grandparents, or your neighbors, there's love out there, and you just have to kind of open up your heart to that vibration. I don't
Support from the heart, and there's all kinds of clinical research and stuff now showing that kindness, not just being kind to yourself, but reaching out, committing the act of doing something for somebody else, changes your mental performance, changes your energy level, your vitality. It's wired into us, into our biology. So being kind is a big deal.
Did you just see the report, John, that came out, I think yesterday, that women who are pregnant, that I guess there's some, someone is helping them financially. There's some,
Yeah.
yeah. Can you,
Yes, I did.
can you share that? Did you see that report?
I didn't read the report. I only saw the headline, but it was the gist of it was that the brain activity of the baby in the mother in vitro was increased if the mother's financial situation was better, and she had been given support. And so the act of her receiving support actually came through in the baby's performance before the baby was even born. So it really shows that. And as we get to my next little thing, there's another example that ties in beautifully with what I want to talk about, plants. And with plants, we have ancient relationships with plants. And with plants, that advanced biology teacher got me into a special program, and I started studying a thing called coevolution. Now, evolution's where a pool of information responds to environmental pressures and changes as a result, and we can see those changes over time. But coevolution is when most of the environmental pressures that something is changing in relation to are also alive and also evolving at the same time. So you have, in essence, kind of three-dimensional chess, or this big interactive dance over thousands and thousands of generations. So that advanced biology teacher got me into a program at the University of Texas where I studied coevolution between these butterflies and these plants that were home-based in Costa Rica. And this was really amazing. One of the examples we had was the plant and butterfly had developed such a close biochemical relationship that it even came through at a physical level where the plant evolved a horseshoe-shaped leaf. So it looked like it had already been eaten by another larva or a caterpillar. So all the other bugs would stay off of that plant because they didn't want to put their eggs on a plant that had already been eaten by other caterpillars. Too much competition. But the bug that the Heliconius cheratonia that had co-evolved with this particular passion flower knew that it only wanted to lay its eggs on leaves that were shaped like horseshoes. It became a visual cue, and it got to use the entire plant when no other insects would touch it. And so this kind of relationship is co-evolved. We have mimics of monarch butterflies. There's examples of coevolution everywhere, but it's particularly amazing when it goes down to the biochemical level. And what we were able to show was, and this is where it ties back to what we were talking about, kindness and support and being given support. We were able to show that amino acids collected by the males within 24 hours before mating with the female were then incorporated into the eggs the female was laying within 24 hours after the mating. And so there was this going all the way back to butterflies. We can demonstrate the concept of parental contribution in ecology to help the survival of the offspring. It's pretty amazing stuff. That was my science fair project in high school.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to have to go back and listen to this recording to fully comprehend what you just said. And for everybody to just let everyone know, John's personality is the same as Albert Einstein. We in the Zodian world, which we have a mutual friend, Alex von Allman. Zodian has to do with Myers-Briggs, and Albert Einstein's personality was INTP, and we call that the owl. Well, John, he has the same personality as Albert Einstein, and as you can hear when he describes this science of microbes. Is that what we're talking about here? Microbes?
We're plants and coevolution. Can you hear me? It looks like my camera froze up.
Well, I can see it. We can hear you.
Okay. as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. We're focusing on coevolution to begin with, because my company has two things. Because of our co-evolved relationships with plants, we have these amazing tools that we can use to deal with our current relationships with microbes. So microbes is the next little subject, and that's really amazing. I had no idea, what I was until we started studying microbes. But
you know what I was thinking? Is there a microbes for dummies book out there? Because that would be something that you could be the author. You could, because I'm the dummy.
I was going to wait to the end of the microbe section, but can you see me moving?
No, we can. You know what? It's a great picture, though. We love the picture.
Well, my camera's frozen up. I had three books to show and tell that I was going to do at the end of the microbe section, but let's see.
It's okay. You know what? Okay. There we go. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Now it's not, well, the first book was where I got really introduced to how complex the microbial community is. It's called Teeming with Microbes by Lowenfels and Lewis, and it describes all the microbes in the soil. But lately I've been reading these two other books. One of them's called 10% Human by Alana Cullen. The other one's called The Mind-Gut Connection by Imran Mayer. And they both describe our human connections with microbes and our interactions with microbes, which has become fascinating. Now, with your work with Euphoria, we've gotten to learn a little bit about using the Human Genome Project to custom tailor what's going on in our nutrition in our bodies. But the other part of the story is Bonnie Bassler at Princeton figured out we have 10 times more microbes living in and on us than we have human cells in our bodies. So congratulations. From now on, you're not just an individual human, you're an ecosystem. You have a giant farm in the middle of you that you really need to take care of, because that's involved in the efficiency of nutrition, feedback on that, on how our mood and feeling, how our brain works. It's just an incredible thing. And so with 10 times as many microbes in and on us as human cells in our body, you got to manage your there we go. You got to be a microbe manager, because if you don't manage your microbes, they're going to manage you. We suggest you start with the soap and move on to the oil. But now I can show you these books. My camera's working again. Here's Teeming with Microbes, the Soil Food Web, 10% Human, that speaks about our overall relationships with microbes, brings up the Human Genome Project, and then now the current extension of that technology to the microbiome projects. There are big ones in Britain, United States, and Mexico. And then my latest read that I'm on right now is The Mind-Gut Connection by Imran Mayer, that describes the influence of the microbiology on the performance of our brain. So it's very fascinating stuff. It is the future of health, personal care, health and wellness, and it's become, dare I say, hugely to the forefront of societal consciousness at this point. Because we've gone through AIDS and now we've gone through COVID, and like microbes are where almost everything is dependent on the functioning of microbes, to the point that it shut down our society for 2 years. So microbes are a big deal. People are learning what a big deal microbes are, and coevolution's a big deal, because these plants that we've been living with forever have incredible effects, and they're great tools for managing our microbes. So we start with all the plants that have been culturally known from around the world, like Boswellia or myrrh, or all the anti-inflammatories from Indonesia and turmeric and ginger and gongalol, or sea buckthorn oil from the Himalayas. And we are at a time where we can get these plants that have traditionally been known for their properties, and we can get them all in one place now. We can work with them. So we have worked with them over 33 iterations. We've developed the ANACIA oil, and we're launching now. We've gotten the best. That's what you're holding up there. That's what Kind's company.
That's the ANACIA. Well, let me interject here with this. I tried this about, was it 6 months ago, 5 months ago?
Yeah.
And I have a back problem, because as you get older, the discs in your back, they start getting smaller and smaller, and then it pinches the nerves and you get into sciatic. And so I was having pain in my back. I put this on and had immediate, and it's unbelievable. So John, can you describe what is the chemistry behind this, or the biology behind this? This is ANACIA, and I'm sure you're going to be coming out with a different bottle, but this product is amazing.
Well, it is amazing. We've managed to take the collective social knowledge of a lot of ethnobotany, combine it, work with it over a while to develop it into really amazing blends. Now, as we're just releasing and we're starting, the product is a massage oil, so I can't make any claims other than it's a great massage oil. But I can say that in our research, we've been particularly concerned with and tried to design around issues like pain, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, pro-immune system, pro-regeneration, really great for the skin. We think about all those things when we're designing our current skin products, and with more testing, these will be hopefully entering the medical application. So it's designed around these 6 different foci. We've selected plants from all over the world with historical uses. We don't just use one for each thing. We get 4 or 5 really focused on each strategic point. And as a result, we've got a wonderful massage oil that's really good for your skin. It'll moisturize and protect. And the other great thing we decided was we're using all these plants. We got a great manufacturer, just a world-class manufacturer, who's been a top-end herbalist since the 70s and has great connections with small organic growers all over the world. So we feel like we're doing a great thing there. And since we're doing the extractions directly from the plants, we're taking those ground up plants and the leftovers we then put in soap. And this is one of the great things about our system is that start with the soap and then go to the oil, because your skin is the largest organ in your body. And so why wash with things you can't pronounce? Use these same plants that you use to provide comfort in the oil, use those same plants to wash with, so that it's a complete system. And with these 2 products, and the soap, it's kind of crazy. We put in enough shea butter and cocoa butter and all these moisturizers and stuff that we're afraid we're going to have an extra thing we might have to do on the soap. It's so good on guys' hair that we're going to have to put on an extra warning because it gives me too sexy a hair.
I can't wait, John.
The soap is great.
The
soap is amazing, and it's such a simple systems approach. You're using the same plants to wash with that you're using to be better with. So
I am so excited about ANACIA.
It's so great.
I am so excited about ANACIA because I want to use this for my pain. I want to use it obviously for my hair.
I don't know if it's going to help.
I want to use it. I'd like to use it under, deodorant. We have some deodorant.
It does work. It does work.
How about toothpaste? Toothpaste?
Don't scrub your teeth with it. No.
Don't do that. Okay, not yet. We'll come up with. But now,
although our business is not just around ANACIA, those are our topicals. Our business is around microbe management, and we will have peroxide products out that will be designed for oral use.
This is so exciting, John, because I know you've been working on this for a decade or more. I mean,
It's my life.
yeah, it's your life and it's your passion. And I almost feel, as I said, your personality. This is the E equals MC squared for microbes. What you're putting together. It's so exciting. So let me ask you.
I think it can really help people. That's what's exciting to me.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you now. So, as you know, what we do with On the Dot is we talk about your background, which you talked about. You talked about what's going on today, and now let's talk about the future. And when is ANACIA going to be up and running? When can people get these amazing products? Give us a little picture of the future.
We're about 5 weeks out from having the oil in commercial production at our fulfillment warehouse. So we're very excited. We're a little pre-release right now, but we're very excited to go. And then we will be developing, the next line will be, after the topicals, is a line of prebiotics and probiotics. Oh, and in the microbes, I personally, my mother at age 91 passed away from C. diff, which is a microbial infection in the colon. As she was in the hospital and everything, I started having symptoms or the signs of that as well. And I used something that I'd heard about. They found at UC Davis. They had isolated a microbe called Phytium longus infantis. And they were interested in this because they found that 1/3 of mother's milk has no nutritional value to the baby at all. And as they studied further, they found out these oligosaccharides were actually food for this specific microbe that provides total protection for the colon. And I'm living proof that totally turned around this challenge that I had. And everything is wonderful and working perfectly now. So this world of microbe management, getting to know microbes, we're just opening the door. We're just learning about it, and so that was just so fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and I can't wait to add those books to my reading list of must reads because I do.
Absolutely.
ANACIA, and I just want to thank you, John, for allowing me to help you share this with the world because we're broadcasting live right now all over the world, and
Amazing.
and it's exciting and you get the last word, John. So with On the Dot, you get to the key here is to you've said so much, but you get to take us out and share with the audience. Go ahead.
My last word is lately I've been consumed with scale. I was amazed. I've been amazed as I've been learning the scale of the microbes, how many of them there are and how important they are in our lives. I've also been amazed by just learning the scale of the cosmos. Just now getting around to digesting what it means that in the Milky Way, I used to think, oh, there's 1 million or 2 stars. In reality, there's over 200 billion stars in the Milky Way, the multiple lattice of black holes. And this latest finding that we're in an area that used to be star-rich, had 15 supernovas and blew most of the other stars and things out of the local area we're in. We do have some other stars around us, but we're in a kind of a bubble that they look at as being almost 1,000 light years across. And it takes approximately 230 million years for our solar system to orbit the Milky Way. So just understanding scale, understanding where we are, learning more about what we are every day, and sharing it. Because the more we can come up with those ideas and learn about who and what we are, the better chance we have of getting this planet through the challenges that we face. So that advanced biology teacher's name was Anita Beeman. And one day when we make it big, I hope to do a foundation called the One Idea Foundation, dedicated to her, because if you take her first name, Onita, you put in an extra space and an extra I, it becomes one idea with the byline of what's your one idea. So I encourage everybody to learn the scale, learn the things around you, learn more about where you are, then come up with your passion and do something positive to help the world. Find your one idea and go for it.